What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the WWE Bash in Berlin live prediction show. Uh, we are live. We're going to talk about this for just a little bit. It's not a big card, so it's probably not going to be a long live show, but I figured we'd go live. More than likely, this is for the people watching on demand, but if you guys are live, you want to support the show, feel free to drop a super chat. It guarantees that your questions or comments will get read. Of course, Bash in Berlin is happening on Saturday, August 31st. I believe at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe that this is going to be a pay-per-view that's happening during the day, which is always a good thing. And of course, I want to talk about it because I don't know how I'm feeling about Bash in Berlin. It's like a solid card. I feel like the build's been pretty solid, but truth be told, there's some things that I'm looking at, and I don't know. I'm a little bit iffy on the card, and that's a little unfortunate. But there are a couple things I'm super excited about, and I definitely want to talk about it. Spoiler alert, I don't think this pay-per-view will have that many big surprises, and I'm hoping that I'm absolutely wrong. If I'm being honest with you guys, I really hope I hope I'm absolutely wrong on that, because I feel like WWE Bash in Berlin is just another filler PLE, which is completely fine. Obviously, they're going to continue to build for Bad Blood, and then eventually Royal Rumble, and then eventually WrestleMania. You guys know it's the same song and dance with WWE, but there is some things that I'm excited about, and I definitely want to talk about it. So if you guys are interested, please click that like button. And again, any sort of super chats or new members, they'll automatically get your comments read. Hopefully you guys are all having a great week. And if you guys did miss it, I did upload a video today with some pretty cool news. But I want to talk about the match that excites me the most, and that is the strap match. Now, before we get to that, we already got a super chat. So let's read the super chat really quick from John, $4.99. Bonus prediction: whether Liv or Dom win or lose, I think there will be a post-match beatdown, and the Judgment Day will leave with international heat. It's so funny because this is actually part of my prediction. So screw it. Let's just jump right into the Judgment Day match, right? Let's just get into it. I think this is a perfect way to start, actually. So I definitely agree. I think whether Liv or Dom win or lose, like regardless of how that goes, I do think there is going to be a ton of post-match stuff. And what's actually really funny is I actually think Liv Morgan and Dom Mysterio are going to lose. I think they're going to lose. And what this will actually lead to is Jey Uso making the save for Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. And I don't know about y'all, but I feel like that would actually be kind of smart. Jey Uso, he's obviously in the Intercontinental Championship tournament. We know that there's been ties to him and Rhea Ripley on and off screen. It makes sense for the baby faces to go over here. It makes a lot of sense for Rhea Ripley to hit the Riptide on Dom. Like, there's going to be some moments in this match that get people talking, and obviously they're going to get people excited. But I think what really matters here is the post-match stuff, because eventually it's got to lead to a big-time matchup for Bad Blood. And I think that's exactly what this match is. So earlier when I was talking about this pay-per-view being like a filler pay-per-view, there's nothing wrong with that, but you got to do something hot to get me excited for Monday Night Raw. And I think that actually starts with this match. Like, for sure, this match has to have something. And I do think it will be a post-match beatdown. And I think that's what's going to prompt Jey Uso to make the save. I think that would be the right way to go about it. I think if you have Liv and Dom lose, and it doesn't matter if they lose clean or not, right? If they lose, you have the rest of the Judgment Day, Finn Balor, JD McDonough, Carlito come and attack Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. And then I think what would be really unique here is if you have Jey Uso make the save, then you could do like a 6-man tag match or whatever. You could do some stuff on Raw for the next few weeks. And then eventually I think it does lead to a big time matchup at Bad Blood between Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, as well as Damian Priest and Finn Balor. But I almost feel like WWE should hold off on the Finn Balor and Damian Priest match. I really do. I feel like they should kind of hold off on it. I do believe the Demon Finn Balor is coming back. I talked about it about a year ago, where that was kind of like the rumor. That was kind of like the thing that I heard was, Finn Balor was going to get that little treatment, with the push and stuff. So if this leads to that, I would be really excited about that. I think this is a great way to start off the prediction show, truth be told, though, because I think if Liv and Dom win, I think it really hurts Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. Like, I really do. I don't think the baby faces should be losing here. So that's kind of why I'm like big on, hey, the baby faces should win. But I also want to point out, and I think this would be like a really good thing, if the Judgment Day end up losing and then they attack post match and then Jey Uso makes a save, I think you have several weeks of TV lined up for a build, which could be really good up until Jey Uso leaves for SmackDown and reunites with the Bloodline. Because I think that's really the big thing here is they have to like delay that just a little bit, right? Like they got to build up to Jey Uso reuniting with Roman Reigns. And I don't know how WWE is going to do that. So if Jey Uso's in the IC title picture and then the Judgment Day screw him, and then, you know, like if he gets involved here and then Judgment Day screw him as well, it kind of leaves a clean slate for him to switch over to SmackDown at some point. So I do think that's actually a very, very good prediction. Jana, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate it. Let's talk about CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre because I'm super over the moon about this match. Super excited about this. I think there's a lot of great things that should be said about this feud. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. On Monday, you have Drew McIntyre cutting a promo, and I was really, really hoping that CM Punk would just flat out attack him, right? Like I didn't want to hear CM Punk come out and cut a promo. I didn't want to hear the same thing over and over again. I wanted CM Punk to beat his ass. And I like the fact that they got physical on Monday. And what's really interesting to me about the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre feud, because again, we're talking about WWE. They're thinking long-term. They're thinking, hey, how can I do something for weeks and weeks and weeks until we get to the next part of the story? And obviously, it's very clear CM Punk and Seth Rollins is the plan for WrestleMania 41. I talked about that for a long time. I still believe very firmly that is the case. But how long do you wait? And it's obvious WWE is going to do a best of 3 between Drew and Punk. And we saw what happened with Drew McIntyre against CM Punk before. And I think CM Punk is going to win this match. And I think he actually has to win this match. I think CM Punk must win this match. But I think the most important part of how CM Punk wins this match will be very telling, because if he beats Drew McIntyre clean, it's going to be a really weird story for WWE to tell. If CM Punk kind of cheats Drew McIntyre, it justifies the third match, which personally speaking, if I were the WWE, I would have them do the third match at Bad Blood. And I would have them do the match at Bad Blood and perhaps maybe even a Hell in a Cell match, because that would be the perfect way to end the storyline. But I think if CM Punk were to win against Drew, I think there could be a lot of great things you could do long-term with that. If CM Punk, I don't want to say cheats because it's weird, man. Like it's so weird. The dynamic of the storyline is super strange. You have a guy who is a babyface and a guy who is a heel, but the guy who is the babyface is really the one who's acting more like a heel than a babyface. And the guy who is actually a heel, the reasons for him being heel, it's very much babyface, right? I know it sounds confusing, but stick with me. Drew McIntyre is one of those guys at this very stage of the game where like his reasoning for everything very much falls in line as a babyface performer. And I absolutely love that. I love that. It's a weird dynamic, and for some reason it works. But if CM Punk, who I don't know who's going to get the bigger reaction in Berlin, I feel like both guys are going to be loved. And I think that's why this is somewhat difficult to like predict, because I like both guys. I think both guys make sense to win. But if CM Punk could slightly cheat his way or do something that is just slightly unclean for a finish, it could be really, really good storytelling for Drew McIntyre to set up the Hell in a Cell match. And again, I'm just predicting a Hell in a Cell match. I think that's the way it's going to go. But I think WWE definitely wants to do one more match after this. And if Drew McIntyre wins again, it makes no sense for that to happen. And I think for Drew McIntyre, if he were to beat Punk clean here, yeah, it solidifies Drew in this feud. But I think they want to prolong the feud. And I think deep down inside, if you're the WWE and you eventually want to get to Seth Rollins and CM Punk, then long term, it makes sense for this match to be Hell in a Cell. And it makes sense for Seth Rollins to be kept off of TV until that Hell in a Cell match, because Seth Rollins could easily screw over CM Punk at Hell in a Cell, which justifies their feud. And it also justifies, because you got to keep that in mind, it also justifies Drew McIntyre going over Punk, which I think it's just a double whammy. I think that's like a really good thing for both storylines. And I think that's the way Triple H is thinking. If I had to guess, that is my assumption. Now, keep in mind, this is a strap match. You got to touch all four corners, which I think is a nice stipulation. I want to see blood. I want to see violence. I want to see WWE do something very crazy here because this is a blood feud. This is a feud that is deep and it's getting personal and it's serious. And I think if you're the WWE and you do that with Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, this will be the match that everybody's talking about. And keep in mind, this is a smaller card. Being that it is a smaller card, I think it's a really good thing for WWE to let this match have a lot of time, especially when you think of all these other matches. They're all pretty big time matches, but this is the one. It has more long-term pieces to the puzzle that I'm thinking of, right? Every match does, but this is the one where it's like, okay, the win or loss here will impact somebody far greater in the long term. And that's kind of how the way I'm looking at it. So my pick is CM Punk. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm going to look at the chat. You guys could tell me if you agree or disagree. But I definitely feel like I definitely feel like CM Punk should be the winner here. If CM Punk does not win here, I would be really shocked. And quite frankly, I would be kind of disappointed in WWE because I think my prediction, not trying to have like a big ass ego or some shit, but like I feel like my prediction lays the groundwork for really good long-term compelling TV. And that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. I see a couple people in the chat. I know Darth Bane says Punk wins. Raging Girl Gamer has become a YouTube member. Shout out to Raging Girl Gamer. Thank you for becoming a member. It appears you have joined the Job Squad, and I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Looking at everybody's comments, a lot of people think Punk is winning here, so that makes sense. Byron Cutler says, I need blood in this match. Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that. I think blood in this match is... It's weird because I feel like blood is... I've said this so many times. I feel like blood is not always necessary in a wrestling match. It's not always needed in a wrestling match. I don't think it's... it doesn't always have to be there. But for this specific match, I think it is necessary. I think this is one where like you need to go all out, put all your eggs in the basket, because at some point people are going to get sick and tired of Punk and Drew. I mean, this has been dragging for a long time, so keep that in mind. That is something that you need to do. You need to spice it up a little bit, and I do think blood does do that. Right hand Cam became a member for 20 months. He says, can't believe it's been 20 months. Wow. Ango 316 emoji. Cam, appreciate you, my dog. Thank you. 20 months of being a member. Truly appreciate your loyalty, brother. Thank you so much. It is greatly appreciated. Rick Corrales, longtime member of the channel. Rick says, I want Drew to win. I'm not a Punk fan. So I think that's interesting too. I think you got to factor that in. Like some people just want Drew to win because they don't like CM Punk. And I think honestly, like I hate to say this, Rick, but the truth is this. If you're the WWE and they know that you don't like Punk, they're gonna, if they make this a bloodbath, if they make this a back and forth that goes absolutely crazy and they make everything like just super detailed and super hard, yeah, I could see them doing that to piss you off. That's what's good though. That's what's good about wrestling is like if you can invoke a certain emotion from your audience, because eventually when Drew gets screwed by Seth Rollins, if that were to happen, you would obviously love that. So very interesting. Let's keep going. Just in the universe as Bolt thought, but what if they make the strap match and make what if they make this God, I can't speak. Excuse me. Bolt thought, but what if they make this strap match a draw in the end? Yeah, I don't think that would be the case. I think there's going to be a definitive winner. So I mean, you never know, but we'll see. Gianna says, how much is it to pay for subscribers? Well, to subscribe to the channel, it is absolutely free. If you want to support the show, you can pay $1.99 a month. There's 3 different tiers. $1.99 a month puts you in the Job Squad. We also have a mid card and a main event section. So it's not required, but you do get some perks for it. And most importantly, you support me and the show and the channel. and the long-term growth of Ango Media. If you would like to do it, that would be awesome. If you can't do it, not a problem. And if you don't want to pay monthly, you can always drop a super chat, just like our boy Zachary, who just dropped $1.99. He said, blood justifies bad blood, and it falls with the pay-per-view. Zach, I agree. And that's why I think blood in this match would make a lot of sense. And you know, it's really interesting. And I don't know if WWE would do this, but I am curious to know, would WWE do a first blood match at Bad Blood? Because that could be something really special. It could be something really sick. And to be honest with you, I don't know how they're going to go about it, but I do think to a certain extent, they should do something like that. But how to get there, you got to do it with blood. This is the one time where I feel like blood really just has to be in this match. And whether it's CM Punk or Drew McIntyre being bloody or both of them, I don't know. But let this match be chaotic. And honestly, if I were WWE, like, these guys are attached with the straps, let them go all over the arena. Have Drew McIntyre drag CM Punk like crazy. I mean, really go above and beyond with this match. This is the match where it needs to happen. Really try to suspend belief, right? Like I want WWE to think long term for Drew McIntyre, and it seems like they have. Drew McIntyre should be whooping CM Punk's ass in this entire match, and then CM Punk should somehow get the win. And I think that would be the right choice. I think if WWE were to do that, that would be the right call. And I think for WWE to go that route would make more sense if CM Punk is literally getting dominated and then he somehow steals the win. How he does it, I don't know. There's a lot of different creative ways for them to do it because it is a strap match. But Drew McIntyre could become so obsessed by just killing CM Punk that maybe he forgets to tap four corners. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There's just a lot of ways for them to do it. That would be the way that I go about it. And who knows how they do it. I swear to God, I really, really don't know. But that's what makes it so unique. This match deserves to have all the glory, all the attention. It deserves all of that. And I think if I were the WWE and I were to do that, I think the interest for Bad Blood significantly goes up. So I am super excited about that. Zachary, thank you for the super chat. We got a new member, Elite Combat Club, also joining the job squad. Thank you to the Elite Combat Club. Appreciate you. We have emojis and emotes that you can use in the live chat. So if you are a member, feel free to definitely do that. It's definitely appreciated. If you have any questions or anything you want read, Elite Combat Club, drop it right there. Thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate you. Raging Girl Gamer dropped a $9.99 super chat. Ango, I've been in the background watching and I love your passion to the product. Keep up the great work. I appreciate it significantly. Seriously, thank you. This is the best job in the world. I tell people all the time, it literally changed my life. And you know what's really cool is I think for so long, like as a kid, when you watch wrestling as a kid, you kind of watch it. You don't think anything of it. You take a break from it. You stop watching for a very long time. And then what ends up happening is eventually you get older and you're like, you know what? I know it's not real, but I do enjoy watching this stuff. And I think once I started, like 2008 or 2009, like once I started to actually make content and talk about this stuff, and it obviously grew, I feel like I became even more passionate about it, which is always fun and exciting. Because one of the biggest things, man, is you never want to work a job that you don't love. And I feel like so many people in this world, they do end up working a job that they don't love. And that used to be me for 12 years. But that's what makes it amazing, right? This is a great job, and it's people like you. So Raging Girl Gamer, thank you for the $9.99. I appreciate it. I just saw your comment as well. You said, I love wrestling. I try to talk about it, but I can't talk about it like y'all do. See, I don't believe that. I feel like anybody could do this if they want to. I feel like passion and work ethic does take you far. And if you want to do it, you absolutely should try. Thank you again for the $9.99. Joseph Peralta has also become a new YouTube member. So let's give a shout out to Joseph Peralta, who has also joined the job squad. Very much appreciated, sir. Thank you. We already got some new members today in the stream, so I appreciate you guys for coming up and supporting the show. Don't forget about those emotes. I see you guys going off in the chat with the emote, so I definitely appreciate that. Thank you. Joseph says, hello, Ango. Will Joe Hendry best dress as Beetlejuice at Bound for Glory and Halloween Havoc? That would be sick. I have no idea what the plan is for Joe Hendry. So unfortunately, Joseph, I don't know what to tell you, but I do know NXT No Mercy is this Sunday, and we will do a prediction show for NXT tomorrow around the same time today. So we'll talk about it tomorrow for sure. But yeah, guys, appreciate you. Oh, hold on. Sick. Okay, no, I was just looking at the chat. A lot of great stuff in the chat. Appreciate that, guys. So I want to talk a little bit about the next match on the card. I feel like it has been official. Alba Fire, Isla Dawn, Bianca Belair, and Jade Cargill. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe it is official. Did they add it to the card officially? They did. Okay. So let's talk about that really quick. I wish I can give you guys more of like some crazy bold prediction, right? We were obviously just talking about the significance of long-term storytelling. We were talking about the significance of the Judgment Day and the Punk and Drew McIntyre stuff. This match is probably going to be the shortest match on the card, unfortunately. I find it odd that as of this time, we don't have a women's championship match on the card except for the women's tag team belts, which I don't know if that's a complaint or not. A lot of people want to see Bianca and Jade break up. I think it would be too early for that. And for some reason, I get a very strong feeling that they're going to win the titles back on this match. Now, last time I predicted the women's tag team championship match, I was completely wrong. And that's when WWE decided to shock the world and Bianca and Jade dropped their belts. So let me point that out for a second. This might be the one that shocks everybody because I feel like to a certain extent, WWE just looks at this match as like everybody's going to look at it and say Bianca and Jade win clean and that's it. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I genuinely don't know if that's necessarily the case. And quite frankly, I don't know what else to say. I think Bianca and Jade win the belts back. I mean, if they have Alba Fire and Isla Dawn win, that would be really huge. Maybe they get Blair Davenport. I don't know. I don't know what they do in this match that makes it unpredictable. I feel like for some reason, it's just so easy for me to predict Belair and Cargill. Would be nice for WWE to have a surprise here. But as I said in the beginning of the live show, I said, guys, I want to see them. I don't think there will be surprises, but I want to see them. This would be a match to do it. This would definitely be the match to do it. I don't really have insight for you guys on the women's tag team division. Like I wish I can say that there's a million things to talk about here, but there isn't. I feel like the women's tag team division exists. They have stuff happening in the women's tag team division, but I don't look at a specific tag team as the next clear-cut tag champs. Maybe this is a sign that WWE has more plans to push these titles. I'm not necessarily sure whether that's the Pure Fusion Collective that they have with Zoe and Zoe Starks and Sonya Deville and Baszler. I don't know. I can see maybe some post-match stuff happen there. But other than that, it's easy. Let's just get this prediction out of the way. I'm going to pick Bianca and Jade. And if you guys want more analysis on that, I'm sorry, but I can't give it to you. That's not I don't know. That's not much worthy of talking about, to be honest. But I like all four women. I think they're all great. Hopefully it goes well and smooth. And I'm excited to see what Jade Cargill's entrance is going to look like because Jade Cargill, she's killing it. All right, let's talk about Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the Undisputed Championship. Yeah, this is probably my biggest shocker of the night. Cody Rhodes is going to retain, in my opinion. And for some very strange reason, I feel like this is going to lead to a heel turn for Kevin Owens. I don't know why. I can't tell you guys why, but when it comes to Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, I feel like it was kind of a dumb idea to put this match together, to be honest with you guys. I don't really like how WWE got here for this specific match. It's probably going to be a fun match. It's going to be a great match, probably. Kevin Owens is also responsible for getting Cody Rhodes to AEW, which in turn is responsible for Cody Rhodes becoming the biggest wrestler in the entire world. So in my opinion, I think it can make for a good storyline. The build, though, hasn't been that strong. Not that it's been bad. It just hasn't been that strong. It was kind of random. Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens should not be main eventing the pay-per-view. It'll probably be a fun match. It'll probably be a great match. I think Cody Rhodes wins. I think what could very much happen is Cody Rhodes ends up winning. It's a clean match. And then Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline come to take out Cody. And instead of Kevin Owens saving Cody and getting involved in the mess, he just walks away. And I think that leads to the first that leads to the first sign that Kevin Owens is turning heel. I don't think Kevin is going to directly turn heel on Cody. I think WWE wants to keep doing the long-term approach, but I think that could be the route that they choose to go. And if that's the case, that's not a bad idea. You know what I mean? But I feel like the Bloodline's always attacking Cody and Kevin and Randy, and so it's just like maybe that's why I feel like a little bit weird about this match. But if you have Cody getting his ass beat after the match, I think that could be kind of fire for Kevin Owens to, instead of making the save, to just be like, F this, I don't need any of this shit, and just dip out. Which I personally would like that. Personally speaking, I would like that. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that's kind of how I'm looking at it. And let me just point out too, Kevin Owens being a heel is great. I feel like they should turn him heel when Sami Zayn. I've said this before. Sami Zayn should join the Bloodline baby faces. Kevin Owens, obviously just tired of all the Bloodline bullshit, seeing what Sami was put through. The moment that Sami actually joins with the Bloodline, Kevin Owens is like, nah, screw you. Then he turns heel on Sami, which leads to WrestleMania 41, Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. They feuded a million times, but having that massive WrestleMania match could make a lot of sense for them. And quite frankly, if you're Kevin Owens and you hold off on the heel turn for a little bit, I think people will also be interested in that story. And that's probably the most important thing, is being interested long term. I feel like that's one of the biggest issues that WWE has had for the longest time, for several years. People weren't interested in the long term stuff. Now there's just so many things that are long term. That's going to be pretty huge. So if Kevin Owens doesn't turn heel, but it's like the first time he kind of teases it, I think that could make a lot of sense. The heel turn gets cemented with Sami, Survivor Series, that type of thing. Who knows? Who knows? Very interesting though. This is going to be a fun match. Cody and Kevin, people are probably not looking at this as a big time matchup. I definitely see Jacob Fatu and the Bloodline getting involved in some capacity. And then I'm kind of curious to see how WWE goes about that, because that's really the most important thing. This is a filler pay-per-view. What can you do to get people tuned in or excited for next week's episode of TV? If you're the WWE and you play this the right way, you do that. My pick is Cody Rhodes. I think it would be foolish to not pick Cody Rhodes. You never know. Maybe WWE decides to say, maybe WWE decides to give it to Kevin. I don't know. That would be shocker. That would be a shocker. I just think that's like ridiculous. And then the final match that we have on the card, Gunther versus Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship. I love this match. I don't know how I feel about this match. I don't mind the build. I thought it was kind of cool how they went back to the King of the Ring thing. I don't know if WWE always had that planned or whatever, but that was a nice callback. Gunther, there's no way Gunther loses. There's no way. Randy Orton still can go. I love Randy Orton. Gunther is going to be hometown hero. He's going to get a massive pop. Berlin will absolutely go crazy for Gunther. I just don't see how Gunther loses this match. I don't see how Gunther loses this match. And I don't know how WWE will book it. But I do get the feeling that Gunther beating Randy, like, it's a good idea, but like, is that enough to end the show? Is it enough to end the show? That's the real question, because if this is the main event and it closes the show and Gunther retains, like, that could be a huge thing. Yes, I understand Gunther isn't German, but obviously it's based on location and demographics and stuff. He's going to be the guy that gets the biggest pop of the night. That's how it is. No, Gunther isn't from Berlin, but obviously that's why we're taking that into account too. But yeah, Gunther is going to get the big reaction, bro. They're going to love Gunther. Gunther is going to win. What can WWE do to close the night? Like, obviously Gunther celebrating is cool, but like, Gunther, I like the guy. Love him. He should be world champion until WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre and Gunther should be the match for next year's WrestleMania. That's my opinion. But what do you do? What do you do to close the pay-per-view? Just having Gunther retain, is that enough? Like, is there anybody that genuinely feels like Gunther's reign has even a threat to it? I ask that because I don't think there is. and as credible as Randy Orton is, I think WWE has just built up Gunther so freaking well that, like, I don't know. They built him up so well to the point where I feel like nobody really could beat him. I mean, I guess Ilya Dragunov, but it hasn't necessarily been booked that way. We got a $4.99 from Darth Bane. I think Gunther retains and we get an Orton heel turn down the road and will be the one to dethrone Cody. He's going to turn heel and feud with Cody, but I think they want to tell more of that story between Cody and the Bloodline first. I do agree. I mean, I've been saying this for months and months and months. Actually, for a year now or 2 years. Randy heel, Cody babyface. It makes too much sense in the world. So if Gunther retains and we get an Orton heel turn down the road, how do they use this match to do that? I don't know. And that's why I think this match will just straight up end clean and Gunther wins and they call it a night. But then, like, let me ask you guys, who do you guys think is the most realistic person to beat Gunther after? Because that's like a big thing to like keep in mind. Honestly, like, who is the next guy? Who is the next guy that can do that? I see some people saying John Cena. Okay, would you have John Cena show up and go face to face with Gunther to close the night after the copyright symbol? Holy shit, chance to drown out the feed. Like, low key, that wouldn't be a bad idea. They've already teased Gunther and John Cena slightly. We're hearing the rumors that that's a possibility. I like the idea of Gunther winning. I don't like the idea of it closing the show and then nothing else happening. But if John Cena came out and confronted Gunther with the copyright symbol and they go face to face, that would be really dope. That'd be really exciting. Darth Bane dropping another $4.99. Hell freezes over and Brock Lesnar returns at the end of the Gunther match. See, I'm conflicted about this. I'm not going to lie. I'm slightly conflicted for the simple reason that I feel like, for the most part, I feel like for the most part, I feel like Brock Lesnar is done with the WWE. I do. And also at the same time, too, Brock Lesnar, we don't even know the whole situation legally. So I don't even want to talk about my opinion on Brock Lesnar because I haven't seen anything that proves he did anything or didn't do anything. I don't know. It's a whole legal situation. But I don't think WWE will bring him back until that gets cleared. If it gets cleared, Brock Lesnar comes back, sure. If it doesn't get cleared, Brock Lesnar never returns. And keep in mind, they did want to do something between Brock and Gunther. They wanted to do that at WrestleMania this year, actually, and that didn't happen. So we do got to keep that in mind. That was part of the plan, and that didn't end up going through. So if Brock Lesnar returned and went face-to-face with Gunther, I don't know what kind of reaction that would get. That will be a very interesting reaction. Where I think if John Cena reacts, like if John Cena comes out, I think the reaction just goes crazy. I think a lot of people would look at that reaction as like a holy shit moment. So I don't know. That's a very interesting thing. I do like the stuff that you said, Darth, about Orton turning heel and being one to dethrone Cody. I agree with that. With the Brock Lesnar situation, I don't know. I'm so confused about Brock Lesnar standing legally and what happened, and so I don't know how I feel about that. But I do like the idea that the chat was bringing up about John Cena. John Cena versus Gunther is a massive match, and if you have Gunther celebrating, the copyright ticker hits, and then John Cena is right there, and that's like your first tease that you get. That could be sick. And we know John Cena's got the retirement tour in 2025. I don't know. I don't know how long you hold off on that, though. I don't know if John Cena's doing any movies or anything either. That's probably one thing to bring up. That is definitely one thing to bring up. Yeah. should be interesting to see what happens. Should be really interesting to see what happens. Thank you, Darth Bane, for the super chat. But yeah, I mean, that pretty much concludes the predictions. If you guys have any last minute super chats you guys want, go ahead and drop them now. Super interesting to see what WWE does here, man. I'm super interested because I think WWE can go a lot of ways. But as I said, it's a very basic pay-per-view. There's a lot of things they can do. I don't think they'll do all the things that I said. I think some of my recommendations would be good. I don't know if WWE will, in fact, do them all, but wouldn't be a bad idea. That's for sure. That's for sure. And who knows, man? WWE could shock us. They've done that before. They have definitely done that before. They have shocked the fuck out of me sometimes. And there's been times where WWE just plays it safe, and sometimes that's all it is. So, I don't know. Well, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, it wouldn't be that long. We got the predictions out of the way. Thank you to all the new members, all the super chatters. I'll be back tomorrow live with NXT No Mercy predictions. That's a little bit more of a built-up card as well, so that's going to be fun to discuss. For everybody who dropped a super chat or a new membership, thank you. Appreciate you. And I'll see you guys next time.